Huge warning to middle class America. I've been warning Americans since 2020 that your economy is completely switching. Jerome Powell in 2021, paraphrasing, said he's worried about the middle class getting wiped out, leveraged towards technology. Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world, says we need to rethink retirement. And Jerome Powell just shared with us inflation is sticky and interest rates are not going down like they said 3 times this year. The landscape of the financial system is radically transforming. The job market is radically transforming. And as Ray Dalio's Changing World Order tells us, we have a war narrative, a climate change narrative, a social geopolitical narrative, and a financial narrative all at the same time. My name is Coach JV. What I work to do is make very complex macro and microeconomic strategies very simple so the normal everyday person can implement them. During these times, since 2020, I've radically transformed my family's financial future and thousands of other people by sharing simple strategies that I do for my own paradigm. One of the strategies that I use is I actually insure my family and my wealth. It's extremely important to me. Rule number 1 is don't lose money, Warren Buffett. Rule number 2 is follow rule number 1. So as I use a speculative asset called cryptocurrency on the left side of the risk pyramid, it's all the way at the top, high risk, high returns. I pull profits from high risk, high returns as people are coming in, and I bring it to the bottom of the risk pyramid and I insure my wealth and I insure my family. So if you're interested in understanding how we do that, I'm a licensed insurance agent. I have licensed insurance agents in all 50 states. In the description of this video down below, you can set a consultation with my licensed insurance team, or in my social media platform, just click the link and set up a free consultation. On the back end of every video, I break down exactly what I'm doing as well from my paradigm. So let's jump right in. So Jerome Powell announced yesterday, guys, remember, the market's baked in 3 interest rate reductions. It hasn't happened yet. And I've been telling you guys, it's not going to happen till before the presidential election. If it does happen, some people are saying it's going to. I believe they will because before a presidential election, they want the markets to look favorable. So what does that mean in a very simplistic term? When interest rates are high, the dollar is more attractive. Okay. When interest rates are lower, people go into assets. So we have 2 caveats happening right now. Okay. Number 1, you have the Bitcoin halving in 2 days, which is going to reduce the supply of Bitcoin that can be mined. Okay. It's a risk on, risk off asset. 80% of the supply has not moved. And you now have a Bitcoin ETF. Okay. Now the asset managers are getting involved. I guarantee you that your local bank, Wells Fargo, Chase, all these big banks eventually within the next couple of years are going to be custodying your crypto or wanting to custody your crypto. And they're going to be encouraging you, the very same asset manager, the very same financial advisor is going to be encouraging you to now put crypto in your portfolio when they told you it was rat poisoning in 2017. Now, you can't blame your financial advisor. That's what Jamie Dimon was saying. That's what Larry Fink was saying. So we always follow what the narrative is, right? But I'll tell you what, by the time it gets to the news, it's too late. It's too late. The tides have shifted. And now you're going to see on my TikTok videos, I'm going to start bringing up videos that I predicted in 2020, 2021, where they've all come true. Now, how do I do this? I study Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. I study history to predict the future. I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know the future, but I do know waves of energy. And I do know what goes up must come down. I'm non-emotional about these markets. I have faith-based belief systems. I lean on my faith and my trust in God, and I let the energy flow as currency. I take from high risk, high profit, and I secure it in things that have been around for years. Okay. So Fed Powell says inflation data this year shows lack of progress. Man, it's taken longer than expected for inflation to reach 2%, which means they're not going to lower interest rates. Guys, you should get used to these high interest rates. Middle class is going to get destroyed. The average person in the middle class needs to make about $160,000 to survive. So we have to start thinking differently. We have to understand financial literacy. We have to start taking sovereignty of our wealth and understand how to grow and compound our wealth. You've worked way too hard your whole life to just have it thrown away. You've worked way too hard your whole life to all of a sudden get released from your job because they're leveraging towards technology. You need to pay attention to what your company is doing. AI technology is going to replace so many jobs. That's why we became avid investors and understood how these waves of energy change. If we go into World War III, what happened after World War II? Complete change in economics, a new global superpower, innovation in technology. After every world war, there's a massive shift in human behaviors, consciousness, jobs, innovation, and technology. And if you start to easily understand this, you'll start to see the waves of energy, and you can protect your family and maybe get your family very wealthy. Okay, so BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is the only fund with inflows since Friday. Now remember, BlackRock, Larry Fink told you that it's used for money laundering in 2017. 2023 switches narrative, and I predicted exactly what was going to happen this year. Okay, so we're going to have the Bitcoin halving. Then it takes about, so you're about 6 months away, guys. So April, we have May, June, July, August, around September, around month 6 in October, you're going to see Bitcoin go straight up if it follows the same pattern. Bitcoin's going to go up, and then the public's going to come rushing in. That's when I'm selling. Okay, I accumulate when the public is running, and I sell when the public is coming in. Again, pulling from the risk pyramid, ensuring my wealth on things that I can compound, grow, and borrow against. Okay, so we know that's going on. And then this is interesting too. So senators propose new bill banning algorithmic stablecoins. Loomis and Gillibrand have been fighting for us in crypto. They're awesome. Say their measures will protect consumers. Brown wants Brown wants combo with marijuana banking executives clawbacks. So they're talking about executive clawbacks, the banking system. The banking system's in a tough position, guys, right now. There is some huge regulation coming on the back end of this year in September that is going to destroy the regional banks. I came from the banking system, guys. These new restrictions and regulations are going to be putting on banks is going to put a ton of stress on the financial picture of regional banks. And I believe, this is my belief system, is that the big banks like Bank of America, Chase, which is JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, are going to monopolize these smaller regional banks. So there's nothing to worry about per se. It's, to me, it's not like the 1929s. If the banks collapse, all your money is gone. They're gonna bail these banks in. They're bail-ins. It's different from a bailout. A bailout is when they inject money into the bank. This time they're going to turn the debt into equity, and they're going to monopolize. The bigger banks will take them over. Okay, so the Bank Bailing Committee was created in 2012. Jay Clayton, who initiated the case against Ripple around XRP being a security in 2020, I think joined the board of the Bank Bailing Committee in 2023, January, or 2022. I think it was 2023. So isn't that weird? The head of the SEC is now on the Bank Bailing Committee. The head of the SEC, who left right after he initiated the case, is now on the Bank Bailing Committee. So guys, it's all a wave of energy. They know what's coming. We're just hearing the media just keeping us calm as we move through this. So unfortunately, guys, they don't care about your finances. They don't care if you make it or not. They don't care if you're about to retire. They don't care if your son's about to graduate or your daughter's about to get married. The markets are ruthless, guys. So you need to be ruthlessly accountable and ruthlessly disciplined and ruthlessly committed to financial education. You're like, hey, well, I don't have the ability to pay for coaching. Okay, there's a library. When I was broke on my parents' couch, I went to the free library and I read as many books as I could. That's how I got here. I invested in a speculative asset called crypto. I read a book called Richest Man in Babylon. I understood how money actually worked. I started studying the Federal Reserve. I started studying Creature of Jekyll Island. Think and Grow Rich, I've been reading forever. Intelligent Investor, understanding how Warren Buffett invests. I became a Warren Buffett style investor in cryptocurrency, and my whole life has changed. I now have financial freedom. I went from broke on my parents' couch to financial freedom. And now I'm growing an ecosystem that is going to go from generation to generation. You can do this. And the reason why I'm so honest with you guys about this is because I hope that you can see yourself in my story. It is the greatest time in human history to get your shit together. Nobody's coming to save you. It's your actions, your behaviors. So let's listen to what they're talking about with their Gillibrand stablecoin will bring transparency and accountability to crypto and blockchain.
Bipartisan legislation on regulating stablecoins is out this morning from Wyoming Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis and New York Democratic Senator Kristen Gillibrand to talk about their bills. Both senators are here. Want to talk to you about where they stand and just handicap whether this is going to get through. I know there's been some talk, by the way, about adding this bill with some others that have to do with banker compensation, even marijuana and other things.
I'm optimistic. I think there is a certain amount of progress that's been made in this space that Cynthia and I worked very hard on. We have great partners in the House with McHenry and Waters. So I think there's momentum. And if we can include this as part of the FAA reauthorization, it can be done quite quickly.
Are you looking, I mean, when you say quickly, are we talking about weeks? Are we talking about months? Or what do you think the stumbling blocks at this point?
we're getting really close to the time here in Congress where politics takes over policy. And so I hope we can do it sooner rather than later. But if it lands on the side of the equation where we can't get through the political morass, we might have to wait until later in the year. We're going to keep pushing for weeks rather than months.
Okay, I would expect the end of the year, guys. This is all political. The problem, we're stuck in the middle of this political battle between left and right, right? So it's a polarizing year, guys. A financial narrative, climate change narrative, social geopolitical narrative, and a war narrative. We've never experienced anything like this, all four together. Study Ray Dalio's Changing World Order, guys. I'm obsessed with his information. It's so good. He's so accurate. He studies 500 years back. And it's very easy to predict. That's why I'm non-emotional about these crypto markets. It's going to go up, and I would rather pull well before it hits the top because everybody comes collapsing down. There's no regulation in this cryptocurrency industry. When the regulation comes in, they're going to smash on hundreds of these cryptocurrencies. It's going to end up just like the auto boom and the dot-com boom. There's going to be the big three left, guys. The big three and probably the top 100 that actually have real world solvent utility. You got to get out of that get rich quick mindset. It just does not work. Even if you're getting rich quick in crypto, you got to develop a fundamental long-term strategy and a fundamental outlook on your investments. Because if you have that get rich mentality, you're going to get a bunch of money and you're going to buy stuff that doesn't add any value to your life. You should always buy liabilities with assets. So if you want to get a Lambo or a big house, make sure that you have companies or assets that are paying for those liabilities. Okay, super important. Financial literacy was not taught to us in our education system. Our education system taught us how to memorize, go to school, get a job, and trade time for money and work for somebody who probably doesn't even have a college degree, right? I have severe dyslexia. Everybody makes fun of my spelling, guys. I have multiple seven-figure ecosystems. It's not your ability to memorize. It's your ability to create. It's your ability to solve problems for humanity. And if you can solve problems for humanity, you can understand waves of energy and you understand what goes up must come down and be non-emotional and understand that 1% of the population owns almost all the wealth. And if you give $1 million to every single person, as Jim Rohn says, it'll end up in the same 1%'s hands because the people were not educated on how money works. It's a wave of energy. It's a wave of energy. Okay. It would be totally unrealistic if it just keeps going up. It's not going to keep going up. So you have to get the greed gene out of your head. You have to think long term. You have to start, do you want it or you did need it? If you need it, buy it. If you want it, be patient and wait till an asset can pay for it. Okay. So I love you guys very, very much. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I follow this risk pyramid. Okay. On the left side, very simple. On the left side, as you go up the risk pyramid, the higher like stocks, cryptocurrency would be at the peak of it, right? It's so risky. It's so volatile, but it has really beautiful returns, right? If you have a game plan. So I use Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. I'm the co-founder and creator of Merlin. It's 30 days for free. You can set up an exit plan. It's not an investment. It's an interface. You can connect your exchanges to it so you can see what's going on with your portfolio in one place. From there, you can set up an exit plan. We have customer service to help you out with that. As you exit the top, I bring it down into insurance-based products. I make sure my family is secure, and there's many different insurance products to help you understand how to insure your wealth, and you can borrow against the cash value. Remember, these are not retirement policies. It's important that people set these up correctly. That's very important. I want to make it very clear as well. The 3T Warrior Academy has nothing to do with my insurance company. They're two separate entities. So if you're setting an appointment, has nothing to do with the 3T Warrior Academy. I want to make that very clear, okay? Because a lot of people are reaching out and talking about the 3T Warrior Academy. So 3T Warrior Academy is a separate education academy. Then you have my insurance company, which is completely separate from the two. So all this stuff is in the description down below. I also have my free book as well, which breaks down everything. So I just want to help as many human beings as possible understand that it's possible for you. But it's not going to happen without you taking action. It's not going to happen without you getting your shit together physically, mentally, and spiritually. And for me, I'm the richest man in the world because of my relationship with God and Jesus Christ. I stand on that boldly. And as I say with my principles, it's integrity, honesty, and uncompromising belief in God. All my businesses are built on that. If I can't talk about God and my belief in Jesus, I want nothing to do with it. For my family, it's peace, freedom, and family structure. Those are my principles. If it disrupts my peace, freedom, or family structure, I want nothing to do with it. That's why I created my own ecosystem so I can be and speak my truth on a daily basis. And I hope that you can find that as well through this wave of energy and build wealth for your family and make sure that you can have freedom of speech, freedom of choice, and freedom of time. There's nobody coming to save you. It's you. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Love you guys.